As we ushered in the 20th century, America was on the cusp of significant social and cultural changes. This was a period marked by transformation and upheaval. One of the pivotal shifts was the Great Migration, which saw millions of African Americans leaving the rural South for the industrialized North in search of better opportunities and a chance at equality. This mass movement of people reshaped the demographic and cultural landscape of America, bringing fresh perspectives and vibrant traditions to the cities of the North. Meanwhile, the world was plunged into the throes of World War I. The demand for labor skyrocketed as the war effort ramped up, creating new job opportunities and sparking economic growth. These changes, coupled with the influx of African American communities, stirred a melting pot of ideas, creativity, and cultural exchange. This set the stage for an unprecedented cultural explosion in the heart of New York known as the Harlem Renaissance. Amidst the bustle of New York City, Harlem emerged as a beacon of black culture and intellect. In the Roaring Twenties, a cultural, social, and artistic explosion ignited Harlem, transforming it into a hub for African American creativity. This was the birth of the Harlem Renaissance. A new era dawned, with black artists, writers, musicians, and scholars flocking to Harlem, their talents converging to create a cultural revolution. Think of Langston Hughes, his poetry echoing through the streets, capturing the essence of the black experience. Or Zora Neale Hurston, her words painting vivid portraits of black life, love, and struggle. And let's not forget Webb Du Bois, a scholar and activist whose powerful writings challenged the status quo and propelled the civil rights movement. These figures and many more found a home, a voice, and an audience in Harlem. Harlem was more than a place, it was a movement, a vibrant symphony of black expression and thought. The Harlem Renaissance didn't just change Harlem, it changed America. It was a cultural whirlwind that swept across the entire nation, bringing with it an explosion of creativity that reverberated through the decades. At the heart of this cultural revolution was music. The entrancing rhythms of jazz and the soulful melodies of the blues were born in the clubs and speakeasies of Harlem. These new forms of music were more than just entertainment. They were an expression of an experience, a voice for those who had been voiceless. The reverberations of this musical revolution can still be felt today, echoing through the halls of modern pop, rock, and hip-hop. The Harlem Renaissance was also a golden age for African American literature. Writers like Langston Hughes, Zora Neale Hurston, and Countee Cullen crafted works that explored the black experience in America, challenging stereotypes and breaking down barriers. These literary pioneers paved the way for future generations of African American writers and poets. Visual arts, too, saw a renaissance. Artists like Aaron Douglas and Augusta Savage created stunning works that combined modernistic styles with traditional African motifs. Their work was a powerful statement of black identity and a defiant challenge to racial inequality. The influence of the Harlem Renaissance didn't stop with the arts. It laid the groundwork for the civil rights movement of the 1960s, setting the stage for the fight for racial equality. The Harlem Renaissance was a powerful affirmation of black identity and culture, leaving a lasting legacy on American society. Like all great movements, the Harlem Renaissance had to conclude, but its influence was far from over. As the 1920s gave way to the 1930s, the nation plunged into the Great Depression, and so, the Harlem Renaissance suffered its denouement. The economic hardships of the era meant less support for artists, writers, and musicians. The once thriving cultural hub in Harlem began to fade. Yet even as the Harlem Renaissance drew to a close, it left an indelible mark on American society and culture. It was a time that saw a remarkable outpouring of creativity from African American artists and intellectuals. They transformed Harlem into a vibrant cultural center, challenging racial stereotypes and promoting social and racial integration. Before the Harlem Renaissance, African Americans were largely marginalized, their voices stifled. But this incredible movement birthed a new black cultural identity. It gave voice to a generation, offering a platform for African American artists and thinkers to express their perspectives, their hopes, and their dreams. The cultural impact of the Harlem Renaissance was profound and far-reaching. It paved the way for future civil rights movements and played a crucial role in shaping our understanding of American culture and identity. So, while the Harlem Renaissance may have ended in the mid-30s, its legacy lives on. The Harlem Renaissance may have ended, but its spirit lives on, reminding us of a time when Harlem was the epicenter of a cultural revolution.